Yeah, I hope everyone is having a great Monday otherwise. I hope that was your Monday's better than the start to this session. But yeah, I guess there's not much else to say. I am, yeah, with that, I'll pass it over to Louis, and hopefully his sound works better than mine.
Yeah, you let me know.
Okay.
When you're
No, I
ready.
hear you. You sound great. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let me start by sharing my screen, and hopefully this works. Awesome. All right. Okay, then I'll start. I'll keep jumping between tabs and see like if there's any questions, so feel free to ask questions. But yeah, so my name is Luis. I come from Portugal. I'm the head of innovation at Mintbase, and I'm really excited to be giving this presentation here about onboarding, because it's been one of our biggest focuses at Mintbase. Is how to fix onboarding. How to make users use crypto, how to make users feel comfortable creating accounts, and yeah, I'll dive into account abstraction, meta transactions, and how we package these technologies into something we called Mintbase Wallet. And then I'll show you how to create your own app that integrates our SDK and the wallet for you to see by yourself how all this works and experiment and yeah, try to push the boundaries a bit. So I think all of us are here because Web3 is important, and we believe that Web3 is important, right? There are a few things about Web3 that gives us hope about the future. It is decentralized and gives us trust about the platforms we use, as opposed to like previous platforms like Facebook, Google, and Twitter kind of like ruined a bit of the trust we had in these big tech companies. Most of them controlled user data, the algorithms, and the overall user experience. But gladly, I think Web3 kind of gives us the hope that we can have a bit of more power, and it can be distributed amongst all of the participants, right? Then it introduced the ownership, the true ownership concept. With the ownership economy, you can tokenize things, assets, and with smart contracts, users have true ownership of the assets they create, like NFTs, and can earn directly from their contributions. So they can select which platforms to use. Since these things are interoperable and all of these protocols are open, they can opt from not selling to this marketplace and go sell on this marketplace, right? Or as opposed to like the other platforms in the Web2 space that mostly operate in silos and yeah, have proprietary technologies and things that don't really interrupt that well. But yeah, this is not a presentation about hating Web2. It's more how can we bring all of these good things about Web3 into the Web2 space, and onboarding is one of those things that we can focus on, right? So Web3 is important, but it's pretty complex, and that's what we've learned over the years. We know that users do not want to store private keys. They want to have a familiar experience. They're not expecting to wait X amount of minutes for a transaction to go through. They don't want to buy tokens to try your product. So all of this needs to be fixed somehow, and we believe that NEAR as a platform is kind of the way to go. We've been working on NEAR since 2020, so it's been like almost 3 years now. And yeah, NEAR has been very good for us. It's scalable. Transactions are quite cheap. So the most costly thing on NEAR is storage, but you don't really burn the NEAR you use for storage staking. You can always get that back if you free the storage on your contract. It's fast. You have up, a minute, 1 second sort of finality, which is, very, very good. And then it also offers a very interesting account system with the unified account model where accounts are contracts and there's no difference between your user owned account or your contract. It gives you, very granular access control, so you can create multiple key pairs per account. You have, I'll cover this more as we go, but so, and these are the things I want to mention about NEAR. And also, of course, you can build contracts with Rust or assembly script, and recently, as of last year, or maybe last year, you can also use JavaScript to write contract code. And I'll be showing you a contract that we use for the app that you can use today with JavaScript too. And yeah, so what's account abstraction or NEAR account abstraction? Well, high level, the purpose is to make accounts versatile, user-friendly, and developer-friendly. I'm just giving a quick look at the questions here. So no questions yet. Nice. And how is it possible to make accounts versatile, user-friendly, and developer-friendly? Well, first we start with human readable names, so things that people can easily remember. Then you give, again, like a granular control over the account, so you don't have like an account is not a key pair; it's a multiple access key pair. So meaning that you can create for your cell phone one key pair, then on your desktop another key pair, but both can submit transactions to the same account or with the same account. And then, of course, the unified account model with the contract and user account being sort of like the same thing. Well, I don't need to spend too much time here, but yeah, human readable names. It's been popularized by ENS on Ethereum. It's been used on several other protocols, but on NEAR, this is part of the protocol. It's not like an app that you build or protocol that you build on top of the L1, but it's actually part of how the protocol works. And yeah, that's it. Similar to email addresses, makes it very easy to just remember your account or some friend's account or some app you're connecting with name. Then the access keys. On NEAR, you have two types of access keys. You have the full access keys, which gives you full control over an account. And you also have these function call access keys, which I find quite interesting because, as you can see on this diagram, you have just one contract and several users with different roles interacting with the same contract, and all of them created like a key pair with a different set of permissions to interact with the contract. So you can see that the subscriber can read all. Well, of course, reading is generally public, so no need to probably even generate like a key pair for this. But anyway, the editor can create anything, delete, edit, and read, and then the administrator can assign roles besides all the things it can do like the editor. Yeah, this is it. So the next thing I want to talk about is meta transactions. Meta transactions are essentially a feature that allows users to interact with the blockchain without needing funds to do so, like to cover the gas fees or even to, let's say, purchase something or attach some deposit to the transaction. With meta transactions, developers and applications can sponsor user transactions, and that's it. They don't need NEAR to mint tokens, so they can just sign the transaction, sending that transaction to the relayer, and then the relayer deals with attaching deposit or covering the cost. And yeah, so this way, we believe that meta transactions remove one of the hardest or the most difficult barriers to entry to blockchain, which is users need to buy tokens. They need to spend money to use apps. So onboarding with meta transactions is probably one of the best ways to do, one of the best ways to go. And yeah, so with the Mintbase wallet, we pretty much packaged all of the things I just mentioned before into what we believe is a very we're still in the beginning. We're still learning how to really deploy this, or to really launch this in a massive or bigger way. But for now, we've launched a few experiments and use cases, and it's working good so far. So this is just a tiny demo. This is a larger demo. Let me just showcase. So let me just break it down. If you're messing with NEAR, you've probably seen the wallet selector. So our wallet is compatible with the wallet selector. You can integrate with any app. Oops. Okay. And then you can generate a human readable name. Use web authorization to store this account private key or key pair locally, so you don't need to remember any seed phrase in the beginning. You don't need to go through what's the seed phrase, what's a private key. We store it locally on your device securely with standard APIs. And yeah, so for example, if you're on iOS and you have iCloud, connected with other devices, if you have a MacBook or iPhone, all of your devices will sync, and your accounts will be available on all devices. And I think that's pretty much it. All right, just quick. There's a question. Okay, what on-ramps, off-ramps does Mintbase Wallet have? So for now, none. We don't really have any connection to an on-ramp and off-ramp. We're discussing how to integrate Stripe in the future for you to not, buy NEAR, but you potentially will buy what we'll call Mintbase credits, which is not a NEAR crypto token, but you can buy these credits and pay for transactions this way. So if you need to expand the capabilities of what the wallet provides, if you need to spend more, just submit more transactions or different. We're still discussing what will happen in the future, but yeah, no on ramps for now. Maybe Stripe in the next few weeks or months. And all right, just covering what the wallet does under the hood. So the meta transactions, again, don't want to be repeating myself a lot here, but again, so all the costs are covered by Mintbase with the Mintbase wallet. Again, yeah, the user signs the transaction, they create the account when they connect firstly to the Mintbase wallet, and then it's very easy to just sign the transaction, delegate that transaction to the relayer, and then the relayer deals with the rest. I have written a documentation about how you can build your own meta transaction relayer if you're interested. I'm sure there's going to be a way for me to share these things here. Okay, I'll just share it in the chat. So if you're interested in building the relayer yourself, it's Next 13. It's just a serverless function. It's pretty easy. You can see that you can unpack or deserialize the transaction. You can see what's going to be submitted, and only submit if it meets your conditions. So you're not spending a lot of money, or you can deal with security this way. But yeah, follow this documentation or this guide if you're interested. And when beta or alpha to test Mintbase Wallet. We've been running a few events. We're opening up what we call Minsta. I'll be telling you about soon in the next few slides. But you can test it today if you want. If you deploy or if you clone the project yourself, you'll be able to play around with the wallet today if you want. All right. So then, yeah, these are the things. So meta transactions, web authorization that allows you to use native or your browser or your device, depending on what device you use. It allows you to store these key pairs in a secure way, but also you don't need to you don't need passwords or anything. It's just depending on the device. In this case, it's an iOS or iPhone, so Face ID. If it's your MacBook, or if you have your fingerprint, your Touch ID, so you can use Touch ID. If not, it will prompt an input for your password. That's the regular way to do it. And yeah, so this is what I was talking about. We've been running this for we just did I think 2 events. One was Rocky earlier this month. And yeah, essentially we call it Minsta, so minting Insta or minting Instagram. Hope Meta doesn't hear this. but the goal is for you to mint tokens very easily with the onboarding experience I just showed you. And the app is super simplistic. You have a feed with all the posts or the mints in a chronological order, and then yeah, you can mint tokens within just one step. And yeah, I wanted to talk about a bit more about this too, because we have a bounty, and our bounty, the goal is to build templates out of Mintbase SDK. So towards the end of the presentation, I'll show you how to build this basically. And the goal is to do something like that and with an inspiration from Vercel. So Vercel has, you know, amazing templates. You can see so many different things that that can be built with Next. It's a full stack framework. So hopefully some of you can find inspiration here to build something like this, but with a different use case. Be creative, but yeah, that's the goal. Okay. Yeah, anyone can choose the name. When we first launched the wallet, we had like just random generated account names, but now you can. I believe, if I'm not mistaken here, I'm pretty sure you can create, but we can check. So create a new account. Oh, this is still interesting. I think testnet version does not allow that, but the mainnet one does. So we need to sync those things. But yeah, you can create like a custom one. No, we do not support video formats on this app, but you can. The code is open source, so you can take the code, change it however you want, and maybe make video instead of photos. That would be cool. I have a contract that uses meta transactions to pay for users' gas. How can I stop people spamming? If I have a contract that uses meta transactions to pay for users. Well, so in this case, it's not a contract that pays for users' gas. So it's a relayer. It's a serverless function. So you interact with it via HTTP requests. So you can see, you can, just have your database, keep tracking who's spending what, find a solution off chain to do that. That's what we do. So we right now only support a few transactions, specifically ones that interact with our Minsta contract. So anything that's not minting with Minsta, we're not allowing. So that way we stop people from spamming or draining our pool of NEAR. Yes, the relayer is off chain. You can find the doc. The guy just a few comments below, and yeah. Yeah, no problem. Okay, and all right, so Mintbase for developers. Before we dive into the code, these are pretty much the three things we call the Mintbase stack. So the contract layer, the indexer layer, and then the SDK that interacts with the indexer and the contracts. We can start first with the contracts. There are two types of contracts within our framework. You have the token contract, which is the NFT contract, and it's standard compliant. It's been audited, so all of the contracts deployed via our factory are audited, which is cool. It offers role-based permissions, meaning that there are two main roles within our token contract. One is the minter that can only mint tokens and then operate or manage those tokens. And we have the owner of the token contract, and the owner can do what the minter can do and also add more minters to the contract. And then another cool thing is that every token in our token contract can have up to 30 accounts in the royalties. So whenever you sell a token, for example, this payment will be split amongst 30 plus accounts. And then the market contract, we have affiliate direct. I don't want to dive too deep into this feature, but it's pretty cool. If you use this feature, you can earn money by, just referencing, not referencing, referring other people's or your token contract. So we split the marketplace fee with a refer. It's sort of like a referral program. And our marketing contract allows for direct sales. It's been audited as well, and it supports a few fungible tokens besides NEAR. So we have NEAR and I think USDT, USDC. If there's interest from more tokens for our marketplace, just let us know. Should be quite easy to incorporate those. Okay, and then the indexer layer. Well, Inderxer is pretty simple. Inderxer just captures events produced by contracts. In this case, if it sees like an NFT mint, it will store this record on a database, token 1, contract XYZ, owner A. When it sees an NFT burn, it will change this record saying that this token was burnt. If it sees another mint, it will create a new record for token 2. And then if it sees an NFT transfer, it will change the ownership from A to B. And why is this important? Because all of this data is being recorded on NEAR for all the NFT standard compliant contracts. And then you can fetch all this data for free via our Inderxer database. So this is just an example of GraphQL query you can use to fetch data to build apps on top of this. Then the SDK. For now, we only support JavaScript, but we have a bunch of packages. You have RPC, data, auth, SDK, React, wallet, and storage. Wallet is the newest one. The wallet package is essentially the wallet selector you can embed into your wallet selector configuration to use Mintbase Wallet. And then, of course, storage for storing data on Arweave, data to fetch data, as it's shown you earlier, and React, for example, to use hooks, like use wallet hook, which allows you to control, manage connecting accounts, getting account information within your React components. We're focusing on React. That's been what we've mostly used for front-end. So yeah, again, if you're building apps and you're excited to do something with other frameworks like Svelte or Vue, show your interest, and we might add support. We might support those packages. I'll also drop 2 links to these things. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's also a pretty cool thing. So this is the Mintbase.js docs. I saw someone complaining about our docs. Oh, thanks. I don't know, like I find these docs pretty cool, but we have something cooler, which is, it's pretty hidden in our in the website. But if you go to Mintbase XYZ/build, there's a nice chat bot here. So you can ask an AI whatever you want to build. So let's say, I want to build a mentor, right? It's using Mendable, Mintbase AI. We're doing some experiments. Hopefully, we can do some workshop with Encode soon about AI. But yeah, so if you're stuck or you don't know how to use Mintbase, just come here, Mintbase build page, and just ask whatever you want. And hopefully this is helpful enough. But yeah, you can see I just how to build the Minter, and it just tells me to install some packages, write some code, and hopefully it works. All right. And now it's time to hack. So I'll give you some time to ask questions before we dive into code. If not, I can just start bootstrapping the project and go through that. What kind of templates are more interesting to set up or code? Well, that's a good question. I find these Minsta, and I want to show you how it works before I give like a final answer to what's interesting. But to be fair, I think like whatever you find interesting, because for me, Minsta started as well. Like let's just find like an easy way to mint tokens, right? Maybe first start with the why. Like what are you trying to solve? So maybe like I saw someone asking about minting video. That's the thing, like how can you send or can you mint video easily, or things like that. Hopefully this answers your question. Yeah, NFTs are stored on Arweave. So all the metadata and files, everything is stored on Arweave. And maybe we can, let's just dive a little bit into the code and see how it works. Yeah, Arweave. It's a better solution to like store large files. So for example, on NEAR, storing about 100 kilobytes of data costs you 1 NEAR, which can get like super expensive over time. So we try to store these things in a solution that works best. So Arweave is cheaper and it's supposedly decentralized enough, and from the economic standpoint, I think files can be not pinned, but like can be hosted on the network for at least 200 years. So yeah. We don't use IPFS because that would require us to pin files, and so Arweave is more close to Filecoin. Yeah, exactly. So Arweave is closer to Filecoin than IPFS. IPFS is sort of like the protocol, but then Filecoin has the incentivization layer for like keeping up your files. And Arweave is exactly the same thing, but had a solution earlier than Filecoin. And we've been using Arweave for many years now. Nate, the Mintbase co-founder, I think he was probably built the first product using Arweave back in like 2018 or something. So that's pretty much the reason. Nice. So let's dive into the code now. All right, I just found this. I can open it up. Give me 1 second. And I'll also share it in the chat. We just open sourced this morning. So if you find any issues with it, feel free to open any issue on GitHub or share with us on. I'll also give you the link to our Telegram chat, which is easier for us to keep up. What's the link? I can find it. Yes, definitely. Please help us with updating docs. That would be very nice. What else? Okay, so this is Minsta. I just cloned the repo, and there are a few things I want to show you about the repo. So firstly, you'll find a .env file somewhere here, and you'll find the example here. And pretty much the app is configurable. So you can change the copy, you can change the theme, you can change many things just by changing the environment variables. Then I think this is cool, but yeah, you'll need to create a .env file. For some reason, I just noticed this morning that the .env.local doesn't really work. We'll try to fix that, but today, if you want to play around with this, create a .env file and copy the content of the example. And then there are a few things I want to show you. So the wallet provider, or the context provider, you can install Mintbase.js React. You'll find it in the providers file. And this thing allows you to set up wallets. So you can add additional wallets to this array. I just added the Mintbase wallet that you can also install our package, Mintbase.js Wallet. And yeah, it will add the Mintbase wallet. So let's run this project as we explore the code. We use PNPM. Just started using PNPM recently, and now buns out, but it's fine. So, oops, I think. Okay. So this is what you'll see, just a simple feed. If we show you the mobile, UI, it will switch to just a scrollable list. But right, this is pretty much it. So you'll see this feed, and you can connect to the wallet. So the wallet provider. How do we access the recording for this workshop later? Need to send to our dev who can watch the time. I don't know, maybe Astrid has the answer. Maybe they'll release the recording.
Apologies. How do we access the recording for the workshop later? Yes, we'll release the recording for the workshop tomorrow. So that's fine. I'll put it in the Discord, guys.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, so once we click Mintbase Wallet, I'm already connected here, but if not, you'll go through the process of creating an account. And these are the things that the application will have control of or have permission for. So view my account address, view my account balance, which is fine, and then execute transactions only with my approval. So I'm connected now, and takes a bit sometimes. And now, if I want to take a picture, it's fine. What is going wrong? I've started using Arc, and the permissions sometimes drive me crazy. I'll have to try Chrome first. Okay, I'm already connected. I connected earlier. And now, if I want to take a picture, let's do it. Picture is done. And now uploading image, which is uploading to Arweave. And you can see, you can review the transaction details here. You can see that I'm interacting with Minsta contract. And these are the arguments, all the good stuff. So by approving the transaction, I actually need to sign with one of the previously created accounts on my browser. So you can see I've created these two accounts, and I'm connected with Stallman. So I'm going to use this one, and I want to show you this. So since I'm using a MacBook, I don't have like Face ID here. I'll need to use my fingerprint to sign this transaction. So just submit it. I'll copy this. And while it's processing, all right, it's done. This is probably my picture. Yes, this is it. And if we inspect this image or this NFT, you'll see that this is an NFT. It was minted on this contract. This was the account that created the token. And there's a bunch of information here. So you can find it on Arweave. So this is the data stored. This is the metadata. This is the file stored on Arweave. all of this decentralized. And yeah, here's the minting transaction. We can take a look on chain, and you'll see that, to be honest, I prefer the other Explorer for this because they show exactly Explorer. They show exactly the type of transaction I submitted, which is a delegated action. So if we inspect this transaction, you'll see that I delegated this transaction, and the relayer signed the transaction. So I delegated. I firstly signed it, and then the relayer submitted the transaction. What? Okay, and yeah, let's go. Then in our code, I also want to mention how you fetch, so how you store data first. So the thing you just saw, you can find it on app. So one of the providers, if you search for upload reference, there's the mint image method. And it's pretty easy for you to submit a transaction. So essentially you can create this object with a title, description, and then the media file, and just await upload reference, and that's it. Essentially just sending, just passing this object as an argument to this method. It will take care of everything you need to do to submit to Arweave. And for now, Mintbase is also covering the cost of this. But yeah, depending on the needs, if you have like large needs, we'll need to discuss how to deploy that at a later stage. Then, what am I missing? Okay, yeah. Not sure if there's questions. Let me take a look. Sorry, I've been geeking myself. Okay. So the last thing I think I want to talk about is, so for now, if you want to use Minsta, and this is pretty much the app you'll have access to. Where is it? This is the app you'll have access to. You can customize it, change however you want, submit that as a bounty for our bounty for the Encode Hackathon. But the one thing I want to mention too is if you want to do some custom, if you want to have your own contract, I think this is worth mentioning. You can deploy on testnet. You can go to testnet.mintbase.xyz and create your own contract. And so let's try to create my own contract here. New contract, Encode presentation, Encode. Let's just try to deploy this contract here. The cost will change today or tomorrow. We'll be dropping this from 6.5 to 3.5 NEAR. So it will be cheaper to deploy token contracts. Okay, this takes a bit. Let me see. How can I find it now? Okay, Encode presentation. Here's the contract. And I want to change the environment variables. So instead of minting tokens on Mintbase testnet, I want to mint on Encode presentation Mintbase2.testnet. But first, I'll need to add the proxy or the relayer as a minter. So only minters can mint tokens on the contract. And for that, enabling anyone to mint tokens on this contract, I'll need to add the relayer, not the relayer, the proxy, which every user will be interfacing with. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now we can see hopefully two minters, or one owner and one minter. Nice. So if I refresh this page, okay, I don't need to refresh. You can see that this is a clean slate. I just connected to a different contract which has no tokens. It's empty. There's literally nothing here. So I will try to mint a token now in this newly created contract. And uploading your image, signing and submitting the transaction. And while it's doing the work, I'll show you that this account has 0 NEAR. So I'm doing all of this without needing any NEAR. Okay, the NFT was minted and it's here. So, oops, something is wrong. Okay, and yeah, so you can see how it all works, how this works. You can clone the app, deploy your own contract, add the minter, the proxy minter, and then if you want to do some custom contract code too, I have one last link, I swear. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to use different browsers. Yeah, so this is the Minster contract or the proxy contract. And essentially what it does is, if you can see, there's the mint method. It interfaces with the token contract. So the Mintbase token contract. And you can also copy this. It's open source. You can take a look at this code, to, compile it, deploy it on your own, and then add that as a minter so you can customize the logic to interface with the token contract. I'll just share that in the chat as well. All right, I think it was a lot of information, even for me. So let me know if you have any questions, please. Well, hope you liked it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's it. Hope this inspired you into making your own app. I think we have this is a pretty good template. We put a lot of work into making this easy and simple enough. But yeah, again, this is all, yeah, we need to still improve a lot of things, and we are aware, but please give us your feedback as you go through this. Developer feedback is definitely the best feedback for building these templates and shaping how things work. Yeah. Thank you so much. Nice, awesome. Excited to see your submissions.
I'm just going to chime in here and say that if you're thinking of applying for the Mintbase bounty, now is a really good time to get some advice about that bounty. So if you have any questions regarding that, guys, maybe pop a question in the chat and then we can get back to that. What's up with the bounty, please?
So yeah,
you want to expand on that?
Yeah, definitely. So we get inspired. I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yes, you are. Do you want to share it? Yeah, there we go.
Yes, please. Okay, so we get really inspired by Vercel templates. So Vercel is kind of like our, how do you say, our polar light? Is that how you say? No, polar star. That's we kind of look at Vercel and the different templates they have to get inspiration. They provide valuable templates with several features of what Next.js and Result, give the users. But yeah, just look at these templates, how they are shaped, and get some inspiration, I think. But most importantly, use Mintbase and our tech, because that's what makes it eligible for the prize. But then, yeah, so this is, I think, where you could start to take a look at some to get some inspiration. But then I think the most important one is Minsta, right? So go to Mintbase Minsta repo, take a look at the code, run it yourself, see how you can change it, because it's super simplistic. You can make changes very easily. We just have I think 3 or 4 pages in the app. So it makes it super easy for you to change. No, actually we have 3 pages. We have page, camera, and leaderboard. So, you can just change it very easily and make something cool. I think the goal is make something cool, make something that excites you. And yeah, that's it. Oh, I see your question. So I would say front-end template, it's the most important one. But if you have some ideas for contract, so following the contract code I shared somewhere, I think above in the chat, if you find some cool way to use that code or some similar code to interact with the token contract, I think that could also be part of the bounty. I think it's part of the hackathon, right?
I'm not quite sure what the question is here. Is this separate from the hackathon? What do you mean?
Maybe the main prize. Is there a main prize maybe?
I'll see if I can get in on it then, the Encode times NEAR. Yeah, this is the Encode times NEAR hackathon. And if you're not clear, there's NEAR has its own bounties, and then Proximity has its own bounties, and then Mintbase has its own bounties, and those are all part of the hackathon. I hope that's what you're asking. But yeah, this is all part of the hackathon, what's been discussed today, and some inspiration in terms of what you can build. Is this bounty the main objective of the hackathon? I'd argue that all the bounties are the main objectives of the hackathon. But of course, it's just a great opportunity to build and to meet new people. And yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Glad to hear it. All right. Are there any other questions from the audience at this point? Oliver asks, what about AI art on Mintbase? What is
yeah, you can mint. You could do that. There's, for example, I've been sorry for interrupting, but there's spirals. This is also a Vercel template. I'm just giving you some ideas here, but this is very exciting. So let's say I love this one, Lisbon, Portugal. You can just add this, and it will generate a nice picture of Lisbon with the AI spiral. Something that's been training a lot lately. And if you want to hook this up to, oh, look at this, beautiful. If you want to hook this up to, to Mintbase or the template I just gave you, feel free to. I think this is something cool to do. I'll drop the link too. Oh, sorry about this one. Oh, this one works too.
Great. I just want to say as well that if there's any relevant links from today, I'll be sending those out in an email later on this week. But yeah, I'll open up the floor to questions one last time. And if it seems like things are slowing down, I can give you guys all a little bit more time back in your day. So don't be shy. That's what I'm trying to get at. In the meantime, Louis, is there anything you'd be excited to see in this hackathon?
That's a very good question. I mean, I'm excited for seeing more people kind of like getting the whole contract and minter and proxy. I mean, it's a lot of concepts. There's a lot of things here to unpack. I still sometimes get confused with all of this, but I'm excited to see what people can make out of all of this information. So I'm not setting the expectations too high for the things that we want to see, but definitely want to see something out of this.
All right, beautiful. Oh, okay. We have one last question. Mikhail asked, does this integrate with BOS?
Yes, I'll give you another link. No joke. But so there's this Minsta widget for some reason. I think this is not breaking, just showed it's broken for a few seconds, but this is pretty much the same feed. So we ran a NEAR APAC, which is Minsta like 2 weeks ago. These are all the mints, all the tokens minted through the conference. And you also get a boss component or a boss widget here. So if you search Minsta, you'll be able to get the code, and you can integrate with the boss or find some way to do the template with the boss. So yeah, this is the template we have. But yeah, if you can come here and where is it? View source, change the source code, and yeah, feel free to submit that as a bounty too, as part of the bounty thing.
Lovely.
I'll drop the link. I forgot to drop the link.
It looks like there's some excitement around that, so that's great. All right, seeing as it looks like the questions have slowed down a bit, I hope everyone's questions have been answered. If you still have some questions that you'd like to be forwarded to Louis, I can address those. I'll send those over. And yeah, with that, I'd like to say thank you so much to Louis for the session. It's been very engaging, and I'm sure all the students really enjoyed it. And yeah, with that, everyone have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see you again on Wednesday for our next workshop.
All right. Thank you, Astrid.
Cheers,
thank
everybody.
you, Encode, and hope to see awesome submissions.
Yeah, same. Bye, everyone.